Do you ever feel like life's getting more and more chaotic? The to-do list keeps growing. And everywhere you look on social media, people are showing off their wins, their glow-ups, their perfect lives. And you can't help but wonder, why am I still stuck while everyone else seems to be flying? It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you're not smart enough. It's because you're playing a game and no one ever gave you the rule book. And the worst part, no one ever taught you how to win this game. But there is a secret, an ancient one buried for centuries, used by Roman emperors, by undefeated warriors, by philosophers who lived through storms most of us couldn't even imagine. It's not a get-rich-quick hack. It's not a 5-minute life cheat. It's Stoic mindset, but not the kind you've seen on Instagram, not just some cool-sounding quotes or aesthetic reels. I'm talking about the core of Stoicism, the quiet, grounded, unshakable core, the part that helped them stay calm in the middle of chaos. A mindset that doesn't just help you succeed. It makes you unbreakable. No matter how many times life tries to knock you down. And today, you're going to discover it. Part 1. How the modern mindset is quietly falling apart. We're living in an era where speed is worshipped, pressure is romanticized, and inner silence completely forgotten. You hear things like, no sleep, no breaks, no excuses, grind harder, move faster, hustle or fall behind. And the moment you slow down, even for a second, you start to feel guilty. Guilty for resting. Guilty for not being productive. But here's what no one tells you. This mindset, it's silently killing you. 1. The lie of the hustle culture. Modern society sold you a fake definition of success. You need the money, the car, the house, the spotlight. And if you don't have it all by 30, you're a failure. You're behind. You're not good enough. We've been programmed to believe. Self-worth equals achievements plus other people's approval. But that's not a formula for happiness. That's a formula for permanent burnout. 2. Failure is the enemy, and negative emotions must be avoided. We live in a world that airbrushes emotions. Feeling sad? Play a happy song. Exhausted? Grab another coffee. Failed? Just scroll TikTok until the pain disappears. We treat negative emotions like viruses, something to be deleted immediately. But the truth? They're signals, messages from your inner world. Ignore them, and you're ignoring the roadmap to your own growth. 3. We live like we can control everything, then collapse when we can't. We want all to go our way. People should treat us the way we expect. Plans should go exactly as we imagined. The world should be calm so we can feel okay. The problem? The world doesn't play by your script. And when things go off track, we shatter. Not because life is too harsh, but because we build our minds on sand, not stone. 4. You're playing a psychological game without realizing you're a pawn. Social media keeps you comparing 24/7. Algorithms steal your focus, minute by minute. Social pressure makes you feel like you're never enough. All day long, you're chasing likes, validation, approval, and you forget the one thing that matters. You've never truly lived for yourself. 5. So what happens? Your mind is in a constant state of stress, anxiety, fear. You become fragile, easily hurt by criticism, failure, or even minor setbacks. And worst of all, you don't have a safe space inside yourself to fall back on. When there's nothing solid within you, even the smallest external storm can crush everything. And that's exactly where Stoic philosophy comes in. Not as some feel-good spiritual bandage, but as a hammer to smash the modern mask we've been wearing and rebuild something real beneath it. In the next part, we're diving into what Stoicism really is and why it's not just a philosophy, but a mental weapon built for the 21st century. Part 2, what Stoicism really is and why it's a mental weapon for the 21st century. Let's clear something up. Stoicism isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's not about being a cold, emotionless rock. It's not about pretending nothing hurts you. That's the Instagram version of Stoicism. It looks cool. It sounds tough. But it completely misses the point. Because true Stoicism is not about shutting down. It's about strengthening your core. So what is it really? At its heart, Stoicism teaches one powerful idea. You don't control the world. You only control how you respond to it. That's it. Simple but game-changing. You can't control the market, or the weather, or other people's opinions, or what happens to you tomorrow. But what you can control is how you show up, how you think, how you choose to respond when life punches you in the face. And that is where your real power lives. Marcus Aurelius didn't just say cool stuff. He lived it. He was the most powerful man on earth, Roman emperor. But every night, he wrote in his journal, not to flex, not for likes, but to stay grounded, to remind himself, you can lose your throne, your army, your legacy, but you can never lose your character unless you give it away. That's the core of Stoicism. It's not about being safe. It's about being unshakable. Stoicism isn't passive. It's a discipline. It trains you to master your emotions instead of being ruled by them. Focus only on what you can control. Turn adversity into fuel. Lie by values, not trends. And build a calm mind in a chaotic world. Sound simple? It's not. It's hard as hell. Because in a world that wants you reactive, emotional, addicted to drama, Stoicism asks you to do the opposite. To slow down, to reflect, to respond, not react. That's not weakness. That's mental strength. Why is Stoicism perfect for the modern world? Because it's built for the exact chaos we're living in. Information overload? Stoicism teaches clarity. Social comparison? Stoicism teaches self-respect. Constant change? Stoicism teaches adaptability. Stress and anxiety? Stoicism gives you inner stillness. In a time where everyone's yelling, chasing, overreacting, Stoicism lets you stand in the storm and say, I'm not moved. This isn't some ancient philosophy stuck in dusty books. It's a mindset built for today, for this economy, this culture, this pressure cooker of a world. And if you really want to build a success mindset that doesn't break under pressure, this is where it starts. In the next part, we'll uncover the hidden idea at the heart of Stoicism, the one they don't talk about in self-help books, the one that helped warriors stay centered, emperors stay humble, and ordinary people survive the storms of life. It's called the inner fortress, and it might be the most important thing you'll ever build. Part 3, the inner fortress, the hidden secret of the Stoics. Picture this, a city under siege, chaos everywhere. But deep in the center, there's a place the enemy can't reach. No fire can burn it. No army can touch it. It's not made of stone or steel. It's made of something stronger. Your mind. The Stoics called it the inner fortress. Marcus Aurelius hinted at it with one sentence that changed everything. A man should stand erect, not be kept erect by others. He lived through war, betrayal, plagues, personal loss. But he didn't look for peace in a palace. He built it within himself. The outside world is chaos, but your inner world doesn't have to be. Stoicism doesn't promise a smoother life. It gives you the tools to stay steady when life gets rough. It teaches you how to build a place inside yourself that no one can invade, a mind that knows what truly matters, a heart that's not a slave to impulse, a soul that's not defined by likes, followers, or headlines. How do you build this fortress? It's not built with concrete, but with mindset habits and honest reflection. A. You learn that your worth isn't based on other people's approval. Society trains us to believe you're only valuable if others validate you. The Stoics say, no, your worth comes from your virtue, your reason, your actions, not from anyone else's applause. B. You embrace impermanence without being paralyzed by it. Things change. People leave. Plans fall apart. Instead of fearing it, Stoics practice something called premeditatio malorum, visualizing worst-case scenarios before they happen. So when life throws punches, you don't panic. You are already ready. C. You talk to yourself, not out loud, but with clarity. Marcus wrote in his journal every night, not for fame, not for anyone else, just to ask, where did I lose control today? Am I reacting from ego or reason? Am I living by my values or someone else's? This is how you check for cracks in your fortress, and patch them every day. Most people don't have a fortress. They have a tent, and that tent collapses after one mean comment, falls apart when a plan goes wrong, burns down from a little criticism. You might look strong on the outside, but if inside is empty, even a breeze can break you. The inner fortress is the one thing no one can take from you. You can lose your job. You can lose your reputation. You can lose everything. But your ability to choose your response, to act with dignity, to stand tall when everything around you falls, that's yours. Always. And that's exactly why modern society avoids teaching this. Because a person with a strong inner world isn't easily manipulated, doesn't buy things just to feel worthy, doesn't need drama, trends, or approval to feel alive. They are free in a world that profits from your insecurity. And freedom? That doesn't sell well. That's why the inner fortress has been kept quiet. It's too deep for a tweet, too real for an ad. But it's the foundation of a mindset that cannot be broken. Next, we'll go even deeper. We'll learn how to build your inner fortress, step by step, in today's world with today's challenges, not through theory, but through action. Part 4, how to build your inner fortress in the modern world. Okay, you get it. The inner fortress is real. It's powerful, and it might be the only place the chaos of life can't reach. But here's the real question. How do you build it? Not in theory, not in ancient Rome, but right now, in a world of notifications, noise, burnout, and FOMO. Let's break it down into real habits, real mindset shifts, and real tools you can start using today. 1. Practice premeditatio malorum. Anticipate adversity. Don't fear it. Each morning, ask yourself, what could go wrong today? How would I respond if it did? What is still in my control? This Stoic practice isn't about being negative. It's about building emotional immunity. If the worst happens, you've already met it in your mind. So when it arrives, you're not surprised. You're ready. 2. Visualize loss to appreciate more. Once a day, take a quiet moment and imagine losing something. Your health, your freedom, someone you love, an opportunity you're currently taking for granted. Sounds intense? It is. But this is the Stoic version of gratitude. Because only when you imagine life without something do you finally see its value. 3. Create the pause between trigger and response. This is a Stoic superpower. Someone offends you? Pause. You get bad news? Pause. Your ego flares up, ready to snap back? Pause. That 3-second gap is where the battle is won. Because in that space, you go from reacting like a puppet to responding like a master. 4. Journal, not for Instagram, but for insight. Marcus Aurelius journaled every night, not for fans, not for clout, just to reflect. Do the same. What triggered me today? Where did I lose my center? What can I learn from this? You don't need to be a writer. You just need to be brutally honest with yourself. That's how self-awareness is forged, one page at a time. 5. Train yourself in discomfort daily. You don't need a crisis to become stronger. You just need daily resistance training for your mindset. Try this. Wake up 15 minutes earlier than you want. Go a day without complaining. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Sit in silence instead of reaching for your phone. Tiny acts of self-discipline become bricks in your fortress wall. Every time you resist comfort, your mind gets tougher. 6. Drop the illusion of control and choose action. You can't control other people, the results, the opinions, the market, the weather, but you can control your effort, your focus, your attitude, your daily choices. Every time you feel anxious or overwhelmed, repeat, I don't control outcomes. I control effort. I don't control the world. I control how I show up. That's not weakness. That's mental freedom. 7. Tap into sympathia, the Stoic sense of connection. The Stoics didn't isolate. They saw themselves as part of a larger whole. When someone wrongs you, ask, what pain are they acting from? Have I ever done something similar? When you help someone, you're not being noble. You're just doing your part as a human being among other human beings. Sympathia teaches you this. You can care deeply for others without being emotionally owned by them. Recap. How do you build your fortress? Practice negative visualization. Embrace gratitude through imagining loss. Master the pause before you react. Journal with brutal honesty. Train in micro discomfort. Accept what's outside your control. And root yourself in your shared humanity. These aren't hacks. They're mental reps. Do them enough, and one day, when the world throws chaos your way, you'll feel something strange. Stillness, strength, unshakable calm. In the next part, we'll look at how some of the most successful people in the world, from CEOs to athletes to artists, have used Stoicism to build their own inner fortress, and how you can learn directly from their mindset. Part 5, how successful people use Stoicism. Even at the top, you might be thinking, okay, Stoicism sounds powerful, but does anyone really use it in the real world? Like successful people? In business, sports, creativity, leadership? Absolutely. And not just in theory. They use it as a mental operating system. They don't quote Marcus Aurelius for likes. They live like him. Because in high-pressure environments, Stoicism is not just helpful, it's essential. 1. Tim Ferriss, entrepreneur, author, investor. Tim built a media empire, wrote The 4-Hour Workweek, interviewed billionaires, athletes, thinkers. But before all of that, he battled crippling depression, even considered ending his life. What helped him turn things around? Stoicism. He calls it the most practical tool set he's ever found. Every morning, he does fear setting, a stoic practice where he imagines a worst-case scenario, not to spiral, but to strip fear of its power. Tim says, Stoicism isn't just philosophy. It's emotional training for people who want to lead. 2. Ryan Holiday, author of The Daily Stoic. Ryan didn't just write about Stoicism. He made it cool again. Once a marketing director at American Apparel, he walked away from fame, city life, and big money to move to a quiet farm and write about wisdom that lasts. Ryan uses Stoicism every day to stay grounded in success, handle criticism without losing sleep, focus on doing the work, not chasing applause. He says, ego is the enemy. The obstacle is the way. Stillness is the key. Each one, a Stoic idea reborn for our time. 3. Nelson Mandela, 27 years in prison, never lost his mind. Mandela didn't call himself a Stoic, but he embodied it. 27 years in a tiny cell, brutal conditions, isolation, humiliation, but inside, he stayed calm, focused, forgiving. Why? Because his inner fortress was untouchable. He once said, no one can take away your inner freedom unless you give it to them. That's Stoicism, pure and powerful. 4. George Washington, the Stoic general turned president. Washington wasn't just a founding father. He was a lifelong student of Marcus Aurelius. He carried meditations in his pocket during war. He led with discipline, calm, and humility. And when offered the chance to become king, he stepped down, chose service over ego. That restraint, that virtue, 100% Stoic. 5. Athletes, actors, artists, they practice it too. Tom Brady focuses only on what he can control. Mindset, preparation, execution. Arnold Schwarzenegger talks about the power of discomfort and long-term vision. J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter while broke and depressed, but didn't let failure define her. Matthew McConaughey? Total Stoic vibe. He talks about staying rooted in values, not fame. These people face extreme pressure, insane schedules, public judgment. And they don't crumble because they've trained their minds like athletes train their bodies. So, what do they all have in common? They don't look for strength out there. They build it in here. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on principles. And when the spotlight fades, the market shifts, or the applause dies down, they still know who they are. That's not magic. That's Stoicism in action. And here's the truth. You don't need to be famous to live this way. You don't need millions of followers, or a book deal, or a private jet. You just need to decide. I want to be someone who responds with clarity, calm, and courage, no matter what happens. And from that moment on, you've already begun your Stoic journey. In the final part, we'll recap everything and show you how to take this from information to actual transformation, because inspiration is nice, but action is everything. You've just been on a journey, not through philosophy, but through inner strength. You've seen how the modern world, with all its noise and glitter, makes us forget one crucial truth. Real power doesn't come from the outside. It comes from within. You now know that Stoicism isn't just a bunch of quotes on Instagram. It's a shield for your mind, a map for those walking through storms, and the foundation of a mindset that can't be broken. You've seen real people, emperors and millionaires, prisoners and artists, use Stoicism as their compass when life hit them hard. And now you realize, if they could do it, so can you. You can build your own inner fortress. You don't need millions. You don't need a diploma. You don't need magic. All you need is a choice. Live with intention. Respond with reason. Stand firm in your values. Because at the end of the day, you can't control the world, but you can control yourself. And if you can do that, you won't just succeed, you'll be unbreakable. If this video spoke to you, let it speak to someone else. Click like if you believe the world needs more inner strength. Click share if you know someone who's lost and needs a mental compass. And hit subscribe to the Future Self Project. If you believe the future doesn't just happen, it's built by the mindset you choose today. We're not born stoic. We train to become one. And that journey starts now.